ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। पठामि संस्कृतं नित्यं वदामि संस्कृतं सदा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं सम्यक् वन्दे संस्कृतमातरम्। So for the last time in this class, let us do one Subhashita, very beautiful Subhashita actually. I had kept it for last. Okay. It was there in my mind for a long time that I want to take this shloka, but I thought we will take it last. It's on Kalidasa, a great poet in Sanskrit. Many people don't know Sanskrit, but they will know Kalidasa. That much famous the poet is. So let us see. I will chant, repeat after me. पुरा कवीनां गणना प्रसंगे कनिष्ठिकाधिष्ठित कालिदासः अद्यापि तत्तुल्य कवेरभावात् अनामिका सार्थवती बभूव। Together, पुरा कवीनां गणना प्रसंगे कनिष्ठिकाधिष्ठित कालिदासः अद्यापि तत्तुल्य कवेरवा अभावात् अनामिका सार्थवती बभूव. So this is not composed by Kalidasa. This shloka is composed on Kalidasa. What the poet says? Poet says, Pura, once upon a time, before, Kavinam Ganana Prasange. There was a prasanga, there was an occasion when Ganana, counting was being done, Kavinam, of the poets. So when the poets were being counted, that who are the great poets in Sanskrit, who are the great poets who have ever come here, when the counting was happening, Kanishthika Adhishthita Kalidasa. Counting in India starts like this. See, counting starts like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't start like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we start with Kanishthika. Kanishthika is small finger. We start counting like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't it? In all our regional languages, we do like this only. So Kanishthika means that little finger. Adhishthita Kalidasa. Kalidasa was at the position of little finger first. So who are the great poets? They started by saying Kalidasa. First name came was Kalidasa. Now, Adyapi, even today, from that prasanga when they started counting poets, Adyapi tat tulya kavehe abhavat. Abhava, due to absence of tat tulya kavi. Poet of his stature. Poet equal to him. Due to absence of any poet equal to him, because he is incomparable, Anamika, the ring finger in Sanskrit is called as Anamika. Anamika means unnamed. The ring finger is called as unnamed. Why? Because they could not name any second poet. Sarthavati Babhuva. She became meaningful. What are they saying? So when they said that, okay, let us count, let us tell who are the best poets. So they started Kalidasa. Now after saying Kalidasa second, they could not find anybody equal to Kalidasa. So therefore, this finger was called Anamika. But this is already called Anamika. Sarthavati Babhuva, she became meaningful. Okay. Anamika. Anamika means one that cannot be named, which is not named. Okay. Now you see the beauty of this story. Okay. One is, of course, they are saying that Kalidasa is incomparable. Yes, that is, there is no doubt about it. Anybody who has studied Kalidasa will say this without any doubt. If you remember, at the beginning of Samasa Prakarana also, we took one line of Kalidasa and how many meanings came out of it. You remember that Kanva's advice to his son-in-law. I hope you remember from Abhijnana Shakuntalam. So that one, Samanya Pratipatti Purvakamyam. You remember? So anybody who knows this knows that Kalidasa, there is no poet equal to him. But see the beauty. We already call this as Anamika. How beautifully they have made a shloka where this Anamika is given reason why it is called Anamika. And generally, when you say Anamika, one who doesn't have name, there is maybe a feeling that she doesn't serve any purpose. The finger has no purpose. And it is said meaningful. Even that ring finger which has no name became meaningful. Means even something with absence of something can have meaning. It's a very subtle point that the poet wants to say. That just because there is nothing, that empty space has got meaning. See, for example, I'll give you one example. Those who are architects, or those who understand colors, those who understand paintings, the main thing that attracts is empty space. Even great architects know they will not decide where will be what. They will decide where will be the empty space. Because that empty space creates the look, actually speaking. The same time, if you are a musician, the silence is what they play with. See, initially when you learn music, then you want to fill every silence and want to say something, want to sing. But when you go ahead and when you start becoming expert, you will start to play with silence. Why? Because silence is the main melody. All other melodies are having meaning because of that silence. Right? And therefore, this is an important point that you have to understand. So, let us read this again. Pura kavinam ganana prasange kanishthikadhishthita kalidasah atra adyapi tattulya kavera bhavat anamika sarthavati babhuva. Okay? So, greatness of Kalidasa. Right. Now, some people in the class had requested me to take this particular mantra and its meaning also. So today, instead of one shloka, we are going to see two. Okay, what is that second one? The second one is famous Gayatri mantra from the Vedas. We had seen some Shanti mantras from the Vedas and their meaning. You remember all the 5 Vedas, 5 Vedas means 4 Vedas, but Yajurveda has 2, Shukla and Krishna Yajurveda, 2 variations are there, 2 main shakhas are there. So from each Veda, we saw one Shanti mantra. At that time itself, many people had message saying that, if you can tell the meaning of Gayatri mantra, it will be very good, because there are so many people who do Gayatri Havana, they do Gayatri Japa, and Gayatri Upasana. So I thought, let me quickly tell meaning of the Gayatri mantra. I am not going to go in too much of detail. I can talk about Gayatri mantra. Anybody can talk about it for hours and hours together. It has so much of content. But we are not going to go in depth. We are just going to see word meaning and what the mantra is trying to say. Okay, so Gayatri mantra from the Vedas, right? So I have not put the Udatta Anudatta marking the way we chant, but I will chant accordingly. You just repeat. Om Bhurbhuvah Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Together. Om Bhurbhuvah Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Once again. Om Bhurbhuvah Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Very powerful, very strong mantra from the Vedas, very popular also. Just one thing I would say, and then I will go forward. See, the mantras in the Veda will come with their own tune. In the sense, they will have markings. You might have seen one line on top, one line at the bottom, two lines on top. They will come with the markings of Udatta Anudatta, where the pitch has to be taken up, where the pitch has to be lowered, where the pitch has to be taken up in two steps, etc. Udatta, Anudatta, Pluta. Where there is no marking is called as Swarita. So, it is advised by all the teachers that you should never put another tune to those mantras of the Veda. Okay. For example, the other shlokas which are not from the Vedas but which are composed by people, we can put different tunes. Example, Bhagavad Gita. Let us say, for example, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is authored text. It is written by Vedavyasa. It's composed by Vedavyasa, right? So now Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, the first shloka which is there, you can chant it in different tunes. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsavah is one tune that we generally chant. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsavah, Mamakav Pandavashaiva. You can put a different tune. Or you can sing it, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsavah, Mamakav Pandavaschaiva, Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. You can put tunes. Why? Because they are composed shlokas. Vedic mantras are revealed mantras. So how the Rishi was revealed with this knowledge, the same way. So mantra was revealed means not just the idea but the words and the intonations, everything was revealed. So we avoid putting tunes to the mantras. Okay? Om Bhurbhuvah Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam. We do not do that. We should not do that. Okay? Why? Because in Vedas, even those intonations have meaning. Why something is, taking Udatta, why something has Anudatta, there is a meaning to everything. And therefore, either we should chant exactly how the mantra is with the intonations, or you chant plain. For example, when we are studying Upanishads, okay? Now, Ishavasya Upanishad, for example, suppose when we are studying, we are not interested in chanting, but we are interested in understanding the meaning. So, how do we chant the mantras? We chant it plain. Om Ishavasyamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magridha Kasya Svidhanam Kurvanne Veha Karmani. We chant it plain. Why? Because we don't know what exactly Udatta Anudatta are there, but anyways we are not chanting it for chanting purpose, we are chanting it to understand the meaning. So then we chant it plain. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavava. We chant it plain. Right? So either you chant it plain or you chant it exactly according to Udatta and Anudatta. But we do not put tunes to Vedic mantras. Okay, please remember this. Don't try to correct other people. because people are very adamant in so many ways, we follow. We don't go on telling other people stop this and ban this, etc. No need. Let them do whatever they want. We should not do. All right. Off topic. Coming back to the meaning. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. So Om is called as Pranava Omkara, which is representing the supreme reality Brahman. We have already seen this. Om. Every mantra, important mantra in the Vedas will start. Every section will start with Om. Then Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. These are called as Vyahritis. Vyahritis. They are indicative of three worlds. Bhuhu, earth. Bhuvaha, antariksha, interspace. Suvaha, swarga, loka, heaven. So we remember these three Vyahritis also before we chant the main Gayatri mantra. So actually speaking, Gayatri mantra starts from Tat Savitur Varenyam. That's the actual Gayatri mantra. Why do we do Om Bhurbhuva Swaha? That is how it was revealed to Vishwamitra Rishi, who is the seer of this mantra, Vishwamitra Rishi. This is how it was revealed. That's why we chant. How it was there, exactly like that we chant. So, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. Vyahritis are also mentioned. There is so much of meaning to Vyahritis. 7 also Vyahritis are there. 7 worlds are there, out of which 3 are considered main. Therefore, we say 3 worlds. Most of the times you must have heard this, no? 3 worlds, 3 worlds. What are the 3 worlds? These are the 3 worlds. So, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. Tat Savituhu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Now, Tat is that. Varenyam. Varenyam, who should be worshipped, who is worthy of worship. Savituhu is Savita, sun, Lord Sun, God Sun. Bhargah, divine. Devasya, the one which is effulgent. Now here please note one important point according to grammar. Savituhu and Devasya, though they are in Shashti Vibhakti, they are taken in the meaning of Prathama. It's called as Aupacharika Shashti. Aupacharika Shashti, Raho Shiravat. When you say Raho Shiras, Shiras means head. Raho Shiraha, head of Rahu. But actually speaking, Rahu only has head. Isn't it? That story is there, no? Rahu and Ketu, 2 parts were made. So Rahu only has head. So to say that Rahu's head is Aupacharika Shashti, you are just saying it for the sake of it. Actually, Rahu and head are one and the same. In the same way, Savituhu and Devasya, though they are in Shashti, they are in the meaning of Prathama. So what is the total meaning? Tat. Now everything, not Prathama, Dvitiya. Whichever Vibhakti is going on, they are in that meaning. So Varenyam, Tat, Bharga, all this will come in the same Vibhakti. They will become the Samanadhikarana. They will have same Adhikarana. So upon that worshipful divine light of Sun God, worshipful Varenyam, that Tat. Upon that worshipful divine light of Sun, divine Devasya, Bhargaha, light, Savituhu of Sun. Upon that worshipful divine light of Surya Devata, Sun God, Dhimahi, we meditate upon the worshipful light of that Surya Devata. That's the meaning of first line. Tat Savituhu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Why are you meditating on that? Dhiyaha, yaha, one who, naha dhiyaha, our intellect, dhiyaha, our intellect means our thoughts, prachodayat. May he inspire, enlighten our intellect, illumine our intellect. So Gayatri mantra is mantra directed towards Surya Devata, and that's why before chanting Gayatri mantra, when we remember all the other angas of Gayatri mantra, we say Asya Shri Gayatri Mahamantrasya Vishwamitra Rishihi Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha Savita Devata. This mantra was revealed to Vishwamitra Rishi. It is in Nichit Gayatri Chanda. Gayatri is one of the meters, 24 matras. Nichit Gayatri, 23 and a half matras are there. And Savita Devata, and the god worshipped in this mantra is Savita. Savita is Surya Devata. So this mantra, what are we saying? First we are remembering Om and Bhuhu Bhuva Swaha. Why three? Because again, these are the three words where Surya Devata's effulgence is there. Another reason also. See, neither words, lower words are those where there is no sun, they say. They are dark, they are in dark. But Bhu Bhuva Suvaha, the effulgence of sun exists in these three words. So remembering them, Om Bhu Bhuva Suvaha, Tat Savituhu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. We meditate upon that worshipful divine light of Surya Devata, of sun god. Dhiyo yo naha prachodayat. Yaha, one who, naha dhiyaha, our intellect, prachodayat, may he enlighten, may he inspire, may he illumine our intellect. Okay? And that is why Surya Devata, who is the deity of intellect, is worshipped, is meditated upon, and his grace and blessings are invoked through this Gayatri mantra. And therefore, when we start study of something, we are advised to chant Gayatri mantra. When we join Gurukula also they will ask us to do Gayatri Japa. Brahmacharya Ashrama, when it starts, when Upanayana is done, first time the father gives this Gayatri mantra to the son, and the son has to continue chanting. Okay? Till he takes sannyasa. Okay? When he takes sannyasa, all other mantras are dropped, only Om will remain. Till sannyasa is taken officially, all the while, whether you are in Brahmacharya Ashrama, Grihastha Ashrama, Vanaprastha Ashrama, in all these three stages, Gayatri mantra is to be chanted. Sandhya Vandana also is done, where Gayatri mantra is the main part of that Sandhya Vandana. Correct? We do all other things because that main Gayatri mantra has to be done in between that Sandhya Vandana portion. Right? So, putting the entire meaning together, we meditate upon that effulgent sun god, which actually represents our inner self, supreme consciousness. May he illumine or inspire our intellect. That is the simple meaning of Gayatri mantra. Simple meaning. Okay? Chalo. Now we go back to the topic that we were discussing. Last thing, we are trying to analyze certain verses from Bhagavad Gita in the light of all the concepts that we have seen. We saw two verses. First verse, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yudsava Mamakaha Pandava Chaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. He Sanjaya, so Sambodhana Pratama Ekvachana. Dharmakshetre, Dharmasya Kshetram, Dharmakshetram. Tasmin, in Dharmakshetra, in that place which is of Dharma. Kurukshetra, in the place which is of Kurus. Samavetaha, gathered. Yuyutsavaha, desirous of fighting. San Pratyaya, desiderative. Remember San Pratyaya? Yudh means to fight. San Pratyaya, when it is added, it creates desiderative, desirous of fight. Mamakaha, my people. From Asmat it comes. Pandavaha, Pandu's people. Cha eva, and also means both of them. Kim, what? Akurvata, did they do? What did they do? So we understood each one, which kind of samasa it is, and how address of each one also we saw. This is something that we have seen in the last session. Second verse also we saw like that. Drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Tada, at that time, Sanjay is narrating this to Dhritarashtra now. First verse was Dhritarashtra asking to Sanjaya. Now Sanjaya says, Sanjaya vacha, tada, at that time, Raja Duryodhanaha, King Duryodhana, Vyudham Pandavanikam Drishtva, Vyudham, arranged in a particular formation. Pandava Anikam. Pandava Anikam means what? The army of Pandavas. Pandavanam Anikam. Anikam means army. Pandava's army, Drishtva, having seen. Acharyam Upasangamya, approaching Acharya, Dronacharya. Upa means near. Sam means well. Gamya means to go. To go near well means to approach him. Having approached Acharya, Vachanam Abravit. Said this word. Said this word means said these lines. So next thing what follows is said by Duryodhana. Okay. So these two shlokas we have seen. Now we are not going in order. Okay. I have selected few shlokas from Bhagavad Gita here and there, what I also think are important and you should also focus on. So those verses we are going to see. We jump to second chapter, 11th verse, which is the first verse of Upadesha by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Okay, so many things have happened in between. Arjuna, of course, Duryodhana first has said so many things to Dronacharya, and Dronacharya, without giving any response, stood there, and then so many things happened. Arjuna had a nervous breakdown. Shri Krishna tried to give him some shock treatment, it did not work. Arjuna left all his bow and arrow on the ground, started crying and said to Shri Krishna, unless you give me knowledge, I will not be able to fight. It's better not to fight than to kill so many people. This is the first verse of Upadesha from Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Says, please repeat. No need to repeat, we have seen it so many times. Together we will chant. Ashochananvashocastvam prajnavadamsha bhashase gatasumsha nanushocanti panditaha. What Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, what is Bhagavan saying? Tvam ashochan anvashochah tvam. Tvam yushmat sarvanama prathama ekvachan. Tvam, you. Ashochan, na shochah ashocah, tan ashochan. See, na shochah ashocah, tan ashochan. Nai tatpurush samas. Nai tatpurush samas. And that ashocah word becomes akaranta pullinga, tan is dvitiya bahuvachan. To those people who should not be cried for, anu ashocah, ashochan anvashocah, anu ashocah, anu upasarga purvaka shuch dhatoho lang lakara, lang past tense, madhyama purusha ekavachana. Madhyam purusha ek tvam. Tvam anvashocah. Madhyam purusha means second person. Ekavachana singular, second person singular, because the karta is second personal singular. Tvam, you. So you are anvashochah, you are repeatedly. See, this anu upasarga will add that meaning of repetition. That also we have seen, upasarga and their meaning. Remember, anu upasarga will have two meanings. Either it will be used for after, or second meaning is repeated, repetition. Okay, anudinam means every day, repetition. Whereas anucharati, anusaranam means to follow. But here in the meaning of repeated, you are repeatedly crying over people who should not be cried for. Tvam ashochan anvashochah. And cha prajnavadan bhashase. Prajnavadan, prajna preritavadah prajnavadah, tan prajnavadan. This is madhyama pada lopi tatpurush samasa. Prerita word is dropped. Prajnavada, vada means words. Prajna means those people who have very huge wisdom. So prajna preritavadah. Prajnavada means what? Words of wise. Bhashase. Bhash dhatu, lat lakara, madhyam purusha ekvachan. Again, second person singular, because tvam is the karta. You cried over people who should not be cried for, and you are bhashase, you are speaking prajnavada. Prajnavada means you are talking words of wise, not that you are wise. If you were actually wise, you would not have cried for people who should not be cried for. So you are not showing any signs of being a wise, but you are using words of wise people. So whatever you said in the first chapter, no, that this is a Mahapataka and this should not be done, and there will be what do you call admixture of caste, and there will be society will go through so many. These are all words that you have heard from somebody and you are using it here, but actually these are not the wise words here. These are words of wise people, but you are not wise. Why you are not wise? Gatasun, agatasun cha panditaha na anushocanti. Because gatasun, gataha asavaha yasmat sah gatasu, gatasun, gatasu. Gata, gataha means gone. Asavaha means pranas. Asu, asavaha, ukaranta. So gatasavaha, whose pranas have left. Yasmat asavaha gataha, from whom prana has left, means a dead person. Gatasun, uttam purush, ukaranta pullinga dvitiya bahuvachan. That's the object now. Now new object is gatasun, like Ashochan was there. Now here gatasun. Agatasun, agatasun, na gataha, agataha, whose asavaha, pranas, na gataha, have not left, means those who are alive. Agatasun, this also nai tat purush plus panchami bahuri. Panchami bahuri yasmatsa, panchami bahuri. Plus here nai tat purush also is there. Na gataha, agataha, agataha asavaha yasmatsa, agatasuhu, tam, tan, agatasun. For both of them, panditaha, wise people, panditaha, akaranta pullinga prathama bahuvachan, pandita, na anushocanti, anu again, shuchadhatu, same, anvashocha, same one, but there lang lakara was there, here lat lakara is there, pratham purush bahuvachan. Panditaha na anushocanti. Panditaha, wise people, na, do not, anushocanti, cry over. Gatasun, agatasun, panditaha na anushocanti. Means what? Wise people do not cry for dead or living. You are crying for those people who are not yet dead, but you are thinking that they will be dead. But you are speaking as though you are very wise. But Arjuna, let me tell you, real wise people are those who do not cry for dead or living. Gatasun, agatasun cha panditaha na anushocanti. They do not cry. Clear? Understanding the meaning? Okay. How Bhagavan says. Chalo. Next one. Now third chapter we go to. Again Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, let us chant together. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyaadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Now what Shri Krishna is telling? Let us see. Adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatmam chetah, adhyatma chetah. Tena adhyatma chetasa. This is Visheshana Purvapada Karma Dharaya Samasa. Both adhyatmam and chetah, both are in the same vibhakti, where the first word is Visheshana, next word is noun. Adhyatmam chetah, adhyatma chetah. Tena adhyatma chetasa. Adhyatma chetasa means what? By the mind which has become spiritual. Adhyatma chetasa sarvani karmani. Sarvani, sarva sarvanama, napumsakalinga dvitiya bahuvachan. Sarvani karmani. Again, nakaranta pulinga karman, nakaranta napumsakalinga shabda dvitiya bahuvachan. Sarvani karmani, all actions, mai, in me. Asmat sarvanam saptami ekvachan. In me. Who Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying? In me sanyasya. Sam upasarga purvaka plus ni upasarga purvaka asadhatoho lyabanta. Lyabanta kridanta. Remember? in the meaning of past participle. Sanyasya, having renounced. Tvanta lebanta. Tvanta is added when there is no upasarga. Lebanta is added when there is upasarga. Now here two upasargas are there, so lebanta you add. Sanyasya, having renounced. What first phrase is telling? Having renounced all actions in me with the mind that is spiritual. By using the mind that is spiritual, having surrendered, having renounced all the actions in me, nirashihi. Nirashihi, nirgata ashihi yasmat. This actually nirgata is what is that? Upasarga is there. Nir upasarga. Nir, what is the meaning? Nirgata. Ashihi yasmat. Asha means worry. Looking forward for something. Asha. Nirashihi, nirgata ashi yasmat. One from whom all the worry has gone. Sakaranta shabda, ashis. Pullinga prathama ekvachan. Ashihi, nirashihi. Nirmamaha. Nirgatam mamakara yasmat. Mama means my, attachment. Nirgatam, one who has given up attachment. Again, akaranta pullinga prathama ekvachan. Nirmamaha bhutva. Again, tvanta, bhudhatoh tvanta means having being or being like this. Being nirashihi and nirmamaha means giving up worry and giving up attachment. Vigata jwaraha san, being vigataha jwaraha yasmat, one for whom jwara means excitement. Vigataha, gone. Again, these all are adjectives to each other. Nirashihi, nirmamaha, vigata jwaraha. Being like this, yudhyasva, you fight. Yudh dhatoho, lot lakara. Lot is order. Madhyam purush ekvachan. Tvam yudhyasva. Who are you? Nirashihi, nirmamaha, vigata jwaraha bhutva, tvam yudhyasva, you fight. What is this Sri Krishna is telling? Actually, this is the summary of Karma Yoga. Okay, second chapter Karma Yoga starts, third chapter Karma Yoga continues, third chapter 30th verse. Up to here Karma Yoga concept is there. He is summarizing by saying what is Karma Yoga? Karma Yoga is performance of your duty by offering it unto God. Offering it unto God, he has covered here. Adhyatma chetasa sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya. Can you see that? Adhyatma chetasa sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya. Having renounced all the actions in me means offering every action in me, yudhyasva, perform your duty. But while performing your duty, how should be your mind? What do you mean by adhyatma cheta? What do you mean by spiritual mind? That is explained by these three words: nirashihi, nirmamaha, and vigatajwaraha. Okay, Pujya Gurudev used to call this as three leakages. Worry for the future, attachment to the past, and excitement in the present. Many times when we are performing action, we are worried about what will be the result of action. Do not have that worry about future. Nirashihi. Many times when we are performing action, we remember what happened in the past and say, oh, last time also it happened. Do not think of the past. Nirmamaha. Give up that attachment to the past. And sometimes while performing the action, we are so much excited in the present that our focus changes. Vigatajwaraha says, without excitement. So without worry, without attachment, without excitement. Yudhyasva, do your duty. Here, why Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna Yudhyasva? Because that was his duty. You fight. So, what is instruction to us? You also do your duty. Surrender all action, renounce all actions unto God, and do your duty without worry for the future, attachment to the past, or excitement in the present. See what a storehouse of wisdom in each verse of Bhagavad Gita. Alright, so this is summary of the Karma Yoga, third chapter, 30th verse. Words are clear, how they are connected, all clear, how different samasas are used. Kridantas are used. So you see sanyasya bhutva, they act as apurna kriya. Yudhyasva is the purna kriya, is the full complete verb. All other previous ones are apurna. So adhyatma chetasa sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. 1. Nirashihi nirmamaha vigatajwaraha bhutva. Tvam yudhyasva. You fight. That's the meaning. Let us see. Next verse. Now from Karma Yoga we go to Bhakti Yoga. 9th chapter. Last verse, I think last verse of 9th chapter. Let us chant together. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha bhava madhyaji bhava mam namaskuru माम एव एष्यसि युक्त्वा एवं आत्मानं मत्परायणः. Let us see what Shri Krishna is telling. Manmanaha, मयि मनः यस्य सह manmanaha. मयि in me, manah mind, yasya whose mind is in me. That person is called as manmanaha. Manmanas, sakaranta pullinga pratama ekvachan becomes manmanaha. Like nachiketas becomes nachiketaha. Like that. So which is this samasa? Samanya Vedikarana Bahuvrihi samasa. We had seen in Samanya Vedikarana Bahuvrihi, we had seen the example also, Matchittaha, Madgata Pranaha. Right? Same way Manmana. Manmanaha, Mai Manaha Yasya. Why it is Vyadhikarana? Because this is in Saptami Vibhakti, this is in Prathama Vibhakti. Right? If both are in same Adhikarana, then it will be Samanadhikarana Bahuvri, and then it will be decided based on the connection. Dvitiya Bahuvri, Tritiya Bahuvri, Chaturthi Bahuvri, Panchami, etc. But if both of them are in different Vibhaktis, then it is Vyadhikarana. In that also the first type, Samanya Vyadhikarana Bahuvri. Mai Manaha Yasya Saha Manmanaha. Mad Bhaktaha. Mad Bhaktaha means Mama Bhaktaha. My devotee. This is Shashti Tatpurush Samasa. Mat, Mama. Mama Bhaktaha, Mad Bhaktaha. Madhyaji, Mam Yaji, Madhyaji. One who is my worshipper or one who worships me. Mam Yaji, Dvitiya Tatpurush Samasa. Yajin, Nakaranta Shabda, Prathama Ekvachan. All are in the same Adhikarana because they all are talking about the same person. Manmanaha, Madbhaktaha, Madhyaji, Bhava. Bhava. What is this? Bhu Dhatu, Parasmai Pada, of course. Lot Lakara, Madhyam Purusha Ekvachan. You be. Order. You be. You be what? Manmanaha, Madbhaktaha, Madhyaji, Bhava. You be that. Mam Namaskuru. Mam Asmat Sarvanama Dvitiya Ekvachan. Aham avam vayam prathama mamma avam no asmanna. So mam. To me. Namaskuru. What is Namaskuru? Namas plus Kru Dhatoho Lot Madhyam Purusha Ekvachan. This is called as Gati Samasa. In Gati Samasa, I remember explaining Shukli Kritya. Remember? Ashuklam, Shuklam, Shuklam Krutva. Shukli Kritya. This kind of Gati. The group is called as Gati when there is a action, repeated action involved. Namaskuru means prostrate. Mam Namaskuru means salute me, prostrate to me. Mam Namaskuru. Evam is aware in this way. Atmanam, yourself. Nakaranta Pullinga Dvitiya Ekvachan. Atma Atmano Atmanaha Atmanam Dvitiya Ekvachan. Panchami Bahuvri not. Subanta. This is simple Subanta. Atmanam Yuktva. Yuktva Yuj Dhatoho Tva. Tvanta. Yuj means to join. Yuktva, having joined. Evam Atmanam Yuktva. Having joined yourself to me. Mat Parayanaha. Ahameva Parayanam Yasya Saha Mat Parayana. This is Shashti Bahuvri Samasa. Aham Parayanam. Both are in same Vibhakti and Yasya connected through Shashti. So Shashti Bahuvri. For whom I am the highest. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is telling. Mat Parayanaha. mam eva eshyasi. Mam to me. Again same mam eva alone. This is avyaya. Eshyasi in dhatoho lrit bhavishya. Lrit is bhavishya, future tense. Madhyam purush ekvachan. Tvam mam eshyasi, you shall reach me. Veji, what is this happening? This is Bhakti Yoga. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, after explaining in 7th and 9th chapter, at the end he says, what is the essence, Arjuna? Manmanaha bhava. Manmanaha bhava, offer your mind unto me. Mad bhaktah bhava, become my devotee. Mad yaji bhava, worship me. Mam namaskaru, salute unto me. Evam atmanam yuktva, thus having united yourself to me, matparayanaha, considering me as the highest, mam eva eshyasi, you shall reach me alone. Okay, many times people think that Shri Krishna is boasting himself. He is telling, you see what all things he is telling, do this to me, do this to me. He is not talking there as Shri Krishna, he is talking as Ishvara. And he is giving a loving advice to Jiva, saying that the essence of your life is to surrender your entire life to me. In Karma Yoga, you still continue to perform your duties and offer those duties to Bhagavan. But in Bhakti Yoga, you offer everything to Bhagavan. This is a higher state, so to say, called as Bhakti Yoga. Okay, that is what he is telling. Manmanaha madbhaktaha madyaji mam namaskuru evam atmanam yuktva matparayanaha mameva eshyasi, you shall reach me. All right, so this is famous Bhakti Yoga. Now what? Jnana Yoga, I already told you in the first verse itself of Upadesha, ashochananva shochastam prajnavadamsha bhashase gatasuna agatasuncha na anushocanti panditaha. Jnanis do not cry for living or dead. Okay, Karma Yoga essence I told you, Bhakti Yoga essence I told you. Now, should we follow Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga? There is this beautiful shloka in the 12th chapter. Let us chant together. Kleshodhikatarastesham avyaktasakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. Suppose you are not ready for the highest knowledge and you try to go to highest knowledge, what happens? Klesha happens. Avyakta asakta chetasam. You see, you first line when you see, what is this big words? No, you divide. Klesha adhikatara, ta is missing. Okay, klesho adhikatarastesham, ta is missing. Adhikatarah tesham avyakta asakta chetasam. So that word I am taking first. Avyakta asakta chetasam. This is one word. How samasa is formed? Avyakte asaktam, avyakta asaktam. Avyakte, in the unmanifest. Asaktam, totally joined, attached. That is called avyakta asaktam. Tat avyakta asaktam chetaha yesham. Those whose mind is attached to unmanifest. Means those who are nirguna upasakas. They are worshipping nirguna Brahman, that supreme reality which has no form, no attribute, avyakta. Avyakte asaktam chetaha yesham te avyakta sakta chetasaha tesham avyakta sakta chetasam. Sakaranta pullinga shashti bhavachan. Chetas no sakaranta shashti bhavachan chetasam. What all samasas are there? Avyakte asaktam saptami tatpurush. Avyakta saktam chetaha yesham shashti bhavri. What does it mean? Of those people whose mind is attached to the unmanifest, formless Brahman. Tesham, tat sarvanam pullinga shashti bhavachan, same. Tesham avyakta sakta chetasam tesham, to them or for them. क्लेशः अधिकतरः. क्लेशः अकारांत पुल्लिंग प्रथमा एकवचन, अधिकतरः अगेन अकारांत पुल्लिंग प्रथमा एकवचन. क्लेश is more. क्लेश is obstacles, problems, sorrow. अधिकतर is more. देहवद्भिः, why? देहः अस्य अस्ति इति देहवान, तेभिः देहवद्भिः. दिस इज तद्धितांत. फ्रॉम देह वतुप मतु प्रत्यय. रिमेंबर वतुप मतु प्रत्यय. शक्तिमान, like that देहवान. That was matup, this was vatup, this is vatup. Dehavat, one who has body. Embodied being, dehavan. Dehavadbhihi, by those who have body, means by those who are attached to body. Avyakta gatihi, avyakta unmanifest, akaranta strilinga prathama ekvachan. Gatihi, the state, ikaranta strilinga prathama ekvachan. Dukkham hi avapyate. Dukkham, this is kriya visheshana, akaranta pullinga dvitiya, means difficultly. In English it will not sound nicely. Dukkham means it is difficult. He indeed avapyate. Ava upasarga purvaka ap dhato karmani. Karmani prayoga lat lakara pratham purusha ekvachan. Therefore, though parasmay pad it is, but atmanepada pratyay is added because it is karmani prayoga. Ya is added and atmane pratyay. Atmanepada pratyay. What it means? If I consider myself to be the jiva, if I consider myself to be having body, then by such a person who is attached to body, suddenly to attach to Brahman which has no body becomes difficult. Kleshaha adhikatara. So what you should do? If I think I am body, that means I think I am jiva, then rather than going for nirguna Brahma, you should go for saguna Brahma. You try saguna upasana. Consider Ishvara as Brahman and start worshipping. Entire 12th chapter starts only with this question, of Arjuna, that among nirguna upasakas, saguna upasakas, who are better? Shri Krishna, as always, says there is no question of better or not better. Question is whether you are ready for it or not. And while explaining, he explains this. Somebody once came to Pujya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji, and asked this question: is God with form or without form? Now you see, anybody who has studied philosophy, you can't say God is with form because God is formless also. But if you say only God is formless, then what about the forms of God that you are worshipping? So instead of answering the question, Pujya Gurudev asked, what do you think who you are? Are you with form or without form? If you think you are with form, then for you, God is with form. If you think you are without form, then for you, God is without form. It's not the question of whether God is with form or without form. The question is, where am I? If I am Dehavan, if I am attached to the body, then to worship Brahman which is without any attributes, without any qualities, without any form, Kleshaha Adhikataraha, is going to be more difficult. So if I consider myself to be Jiva, I must worship Bhagavan which is Saguna. Is this point clear? That is what he is trying to explain here. See, Kleshoha adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatihi dukkham dehavadbhi avapyate. Dukkham avapyate. It is very difficult for them to get. Dehavadbhi, by those who are attached with the body, avyakta gatihi, the state of unmanifest, the state of Supreme Brahman, dukkham avapyate, is not possible to be attained. Is attained through lot of difficulty. Okay, so easier thing to do is at that stage of your life, you worship that particular thing. That is the topic. Now, last verse of Upadesha, not my last verse of Upadesha of Sri Krishna in 18th chapter. So he has told Jnana Yoga, he has told Karma Yoga, he has told Bhakti Yoga, he has also told Atma Jnana, he has told everything. Now what? Final teaching is what? Very famous shloka, most famous shloka probably. We always chant this together. Let us do. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva पेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. What he is saying? Sarvadharman. सर्वे धर्माः सर्वधर्माः तान् सर्वधर्मान्. विशेषण पूर्वपद कर्मधारय समास. Both are in the same vibhakti. सर्वे धर्माः सर्वधर्माः. And then द्वितीय तान्, द्वितीय बहुवचन, अकारांत पुल्लिंग द्वितीय बहुवचन. तान् सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य. परि उपसर्ग पूर्वक त्यज धातोः ल्यप, ल्यबंत, ल्यप प्रत्यय is added. Why? Because upasarga is there. Parityajya, having given up completely. What? Sarvadharma, having given up everything. Ekam mam, ekam akaranta pullinga dvitiya ekvachan, mam asmat sarvanam dvitiya ekvachan. Ekam mam, to me alone, to only me. Sharanam vraja, sharanam akaranta namupsakalinga dvitiya ekvachan, vraja, व्रज धातो हो लोट लकार मध्यम पुरुष एकवचन. त्वम व्रज, order. What? Give up all the dharmas, give up all the duties, all actions, everything you give up, and what? Surrender unto me. Sharanam vraja, surrender unto me. This Bhagavan Shri Krishna is telling to Arjuna, final teaching. Aham, aham means I. Asmat sarvanam prathama ekvachan. Tva, to you. Tvam, yushmat sarvanam dvitiya ekvachan. So aham is the karta here, tvam is karma. Aham tva sarva papebhyah, from all papas. Sarve papaha sarva papaha, just like sarve dharmaha sarva dharmaha. Tebhyah, from them. So same visheshana purvapada karmadhare samasa. From all sins mokshayishyami, I shall liberate you. See, moksha dhatoho lrit lakara uttam purusha ekvachana. Lrit lakara means future tense. Uttama purusha means uttam purush first person, ekvachana singular. Aham mokshayishyami. Actually dhatu is much. Mokshayishyami, I shall liberate you. I shall liberate you from all sins. Sarva papebhya. Ma shuchaha. Ma, do not. Avyaya. Shuchaha, cry. Shuch dhatu lung lakara madhyam purusha ekvachana. Ma shuchaha, do not cry. Lung is another vidiling, lung, lot, ashirling. These are the four moods, no? Ma shuchaha, do not cry. So as a final advice, what is he telling? Arjuna, give up all dharmas and surrender unto me. I shall liberate you from all sins. Do not cry. Okay? Shri Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya always says, Arjunam nimitti kritya. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is talking to all of us by taking Arjuna as nimitta. Okay? So he is telling all of us what we should do. Surrender unto Bhagavan. Bas. Alright. Thus, we come to the end of today's class, and we also come to the end of Sanskrit class in general. Okay, it has been a very, very wonderful, joyous class for me, because for a long time I wanted to study Sanskrit, not teach Sanskrit. I don't think I am capable of teaching, but I like studying Sanskrit, and when there are people, then for them when I study it becomes more joyous. So we come to the end of this class. We have seen so many topics of Sanskrit, not very much in detail, but all that is required for understanding Shastras. And all important topics that are required we have discussed, right? So in this last session, I offer my salutations to all the teachers of Sanskrit that I have had, right from my school time. Tuition teacher was there who really, created that interest in me. And then I did MA Sanskrit here in Chinmay Vishwavidyapit. I had wonderful teachers, all great scholars who are very popular in India today in the field of Sanskrit. I got opportunity to learn from all of them. But one person's name whom I should mention, without whom this class would not have happened, and that is Swami Shardanandji, who taught me Sanskrit in the Vedanta course that I studied. And actually whatever I have taught is from his notes only. When he taught me, and when we were studying and we used to make notes, and then we thought about it, and that is how this this entire structure of Sanskrit for Shastra study has come about. Because as I was mentioning right in the beginning, there are various ways of studying Sanskrit. There are many people who teach it in different ways. Some directly go into Ashtadhyayi, some go through Kashika Vritti, some go through Siddhanta Kaumudi, Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. Those who follow Paushpiki Prakriya, very famous, made by a great scholar Pushpa Dikshit ji. There are many ways of studying Sanskrit. But this particular way that Swamiji taught us was focused on Shastra, saying that if you want to learn Shastras, how much Sanskrit you should know, and getting overview time and again of how things are connected. What is the connection between Kridanta, Taddita, Samasa, Sandhi, Subanta, Tinganta, everything connected together is the way that Swamiji taught. So my prostrations unto him. I already told him today that Swamiji, I am taking the last class today, and his blessings are there on all of us. If you like this class, I am sure you will love to pursue Sanskrit further. So please keep doing that. And if anything was wrong, because it's a language and it's not my first expert subject or anything. I had told you right at the beginning in the first class itself that I am not a scholar of Sanskrit. I am just a student trying to understand Sanskrit when I study Vedanta. I teach Vedanta. Sanskrit is the language and therefore I love it. But if there are some mistakes, please forgive me. I always say that I am youngest among most of you. So please forgive whatever mistakes might have happened. And continue to be part of the WhatsApp group. As you know, the PPTs are shared in that WhatsApp group, and upcoming programs also, something maybe there will be shared. I am also thinking of working with few people and coming up with a book on this. We already have a rough book with us which we studied with, so we are trying to make it better, but it will take time, because to bring out book is little difficult. No, everything has to be there mentioned, and it should not become too tedious, also too difficult also for reader. But we are in the process. Maybe by God's grace in another 1 or 2 years we will be able to bring out book from CIF publication. And please remain in touch, and those who are watching on YouTube, please keep connected with the YouTube channel. Whatever more has to happen will come on the channel. There are already some classes that Gauri Mahulikar ji is taking on Sanskrit, Kavya and Nataka, etc. So if you are part of the group, etc., you will come to know that the book is released or book is coming, whatever. I'll keep all of you informed. And thank you once again. Next week we will just meet for informal meet, where I would love you to speak. I have been speaking for 95 classes now, so it will be nice if you can speak, and whatever your experience is, would love to do that. So we'll meet you next time, same time next week, but only in Zoom. So those who are joining YouTube also, please join Zoom, register, and then you can join. Yeah. Thank you. We'll conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.